One huge part of Japanese cuisine is sushi. In
Yeah.
today's episode, we're going to talk about our first experiences eating the raw fish.
Wow.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another Salmon Onegaishimasu episode. We're the hosts. My name is MJ.
My name is Adam.
Today's episode of the MJ and Adam Show, we invite you again to become our friends and join our conversation. You're going to be learning some words, some phrases, and even get to understand the mind and the feeling of English.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Today's episode, we will be talking about our first sushi experience. When people think about Japanese cuisine, Japanese food, one of the first things you probably think of in the Western world is sushi. So if you have never been overseas, I'll let you know right now, there are plenty of sushi shops and restaurants that you can find in North America, but let's go into it, dude. We took a hard turn. We're going to swing this car of conversation back over to talking about our first experiences with sushi. And as we were talking about North America, it started in North America. Adam?
Yeah. I think actually the first time I had sushi was at a Chinese restaurant.
Hey, mind blown.
Mind blown. Like, everyone's probably just like, oh no.
Wait, at a Chinese restaurant?
Why?
Yes.
But we have a lot of Chinese buffets, and the buffets usually try to put not just Chinese food, but different Asian cuisine. And one of the popular sections is the sushi section. That's a hard thing to say. So we had a sushi chef. He was trained in making different kinds of sushi, cutting the sashimi and stuff like that. And he was preparing these different kinds of rolls, not nigiris,
right,
which is common in Japan, but rolls, and different kinds of rolls. Probably you haven't heard of them. California roll or spider roll or avocado roll, caterpillar roll, all of these different kinds of rolls that don't exist in Japan, but that's what North Americans think sushi is. And that's what we grew up with. So I had that as the first time, and he was the person who was like, try the sushi. And I had that impression that raw fish was kind of dangerous to eat, because it'll, be bad for
could
your
have
stomach.
could
have some bacteria
in it still. Right.
Yeah.
In the Western world, like, that's why we cook everything.
Right.
Everything's cooked.
Right. And
nothing is eaten raw except plants.
Exactly. And I'm sure if it's not prepared properly, it can have bacteria on it, but with a trained professional, that shouldn't happen. So he would always tell me to try the sushi. I cut a new, I made a new roll, try it. So I tried it and I really liked it. And then at one point he had unagi, eel, and he was like, try the eel. Or no, he didn't even say try the eel. He was just like, try this. And I was like, okay, looks delicious. So I ate it. I was like, this is good. And he said, oh, you know what that is? I was like, should I ask?
Do I want to know?
I want to know? And he said, it's eel. And I was like, oh, okay. And then, so that opened my eyes to Japanese food in a way, that when I came to Japan and I'm trying the actual like Japanese style of sushi and unagi, like, it's night and day, basically. Really delicious here. The quality's, perfection. But, as you come from North America, Canada, America to Japan, you notice that there's a big difference. Yeah. And I really like sushi, but I really like unagi.
So dude, definitely. Also, where I'm from in America, there's a lot of Asian cuisines, a lot of, I should say, Asian fusion restaurants that were very popular, that still are popular, where it's like they don't have maybe a chef that is proficient or professional in just Japanese food, Japanese cuisine. So what they do is it's like they have someone who kind of knows a mishmash of different things, studies some Chinese, some Thai, some Japanese, and then they pretty much feel out like what is the best for this area. Unlike you, Adam, I did not eat my first sushi at that place. Now, I did have some sort of raw fish dishes from South America.
Okay.
It is prepared very differently from sushi, but I've had raw fish in that case, but it doesn't look like, it's just not the cut fish right there in front of your face. It's mixed with a bunch of stuff, so you don't really notice it. So when I first had sushi, I'm guessing it was with a Japanese friend of mine who took me to a Japanese restaurant in America. It's a very small place, not so popular. It's like one of those places where just the locals know about it, and as well as the Japanese community in the area know like that's an authentic Japanese restaurant. I believe that was the first time I've ever had sushi. So yeah, well, just like you, it was not in Japan. It was overseas. But I do remember just being like, where is this? Everyone's talking about it. Like, I don't care.
Sushi.
Let me try this thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I was down and I was open to try everything. And just like you, was very surprised and very happy about discovering my love for sushi because then you learn, like people say, like, oh, it's healthy.
Yeah.
And it's so fun because sushi is like you can try so many different fish when you go to just one restaurant. Try some of this, try some of that, try some of that.
Yeah.
Let's try it all. Okay, let's quickly go over, Adam, to now we're in Japan. What was some things that you remember when you were at a sushi place in Japan having a first experience?
It was a conveyor sushi for sure. And I remember
that kaiten.
The kaiten. I was with foreign friends, and it was one of the places where you have to push the button to send the Shinkansen back. So
okay.
I remember we were eating and I kept forgetting to push the button, and then the guy, there was a Japanese man beside us, and he was like, "Oh, push, don't forget to push," welcome to Japan kind of friendly.
Nicely,
nice guy. And I was like, "Oh, thank you." Yeah, but that was the time that I tried different types and I found the ones that I liked. I went way too crazy with the amount of plates I tried to finish, which I did finish, but it was like 20 plates in one sitting.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Whoa.
And I think it's like, we're here in Japan for the first time with friends.
You're gonna while out.
You're gonna while out for one, go crazy. But two, you're gonna see how many plates you can finish competing with your friends or the people you're with.
Yeah.
At all times. And
make a bigger tower.
Who can make the biggest tower? How many plates you got? How many red plates you got? So it's very good food, not just for eating, but also to enjoy with friends and family members, socialize, because it's so easy to eat. I feel like you can sit there and relax and have a few plates, and many sushi places have, alcoholic beverages and stuff like that. So it's really nice.
That's such a special thing. And I think having the experience beforehand, then coming to Japan and seeing the real experience, now it's just like you go all out. You're like, this is the best. Like, I'm not, you feel like it's not going to stop. Like that Shinkansen is going to keep on coming. Like no matter.
Wear out the tracks.
It's never going to be empty. Yeah.
Derail.
So you eat a lot, definitely.
Right.
And I believe I probably was in the same scenario. Again, I don't remember exactly because we've been so many times. It's like hard to remember the first time.
Right.
But I think it was a smaller, not a chain conveyor belt place, but a smaller one in town where it was a little more expensive, but it had like a more friendly atmosphere. They were like, you were sitting around the sushi chefs right in the center, and you could just ask them to make things for you, or you could take from the conveyor that was going around. No mini Shinkansen, but it was still really awesome to try to like talk with him. I was with a Japanese friend, and he was like telling me, he's like, "Oh, which one do you want?" Oh, I'm like, "What does that say?" And it was tough actually because there were no pictures. I just had to like see what was going around the conveyor belt. I'm like, "What's that?" My friend would be like, "Blah blah blah." Usually I would just take it. Then my friend's like, "Yo, if you want something fresh, you should just ask them for it, and they'll make it for you. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay." I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, bean toro. And I was like, okay. So I got to say, bean, what do I got to say? What do I got to say? He's like, say, bean toro onegashimasu. I was like, okay. And then I say, sumimasen, you know, and I order my own, and just that full experience of being able to order it yourself.
Yeah.
Which is sad because it's not there anymore. Everything's just touchscreen. You can change it to English and just do all this stuff, which is very convenient for the travelers and stuff. But it is kind of lost that experience
side
now that some people could have had.
Right.
But hey, what you gonna do? Thanks everyone for joining us in this video. We might even do another one because, you know, so many memories just came out from me and Adam talking about this more and more, but who knows? But that's it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, what's your favorite kind of sushi, and subscribe to the channel.
Yeah, but that's it. We'll see you on the next
step.